Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing the new moon in Aries. Now this new moon is happening on the 1st of April 2022 for most of the world. It is going to be in the sign of Aries and it is going to be at 12 degrees of Aries. So first and foremost, look at your chart, look at what house Aries represents in your chart, or if you have any planets or placements at around 12 degrees of Aries, particularly if you have planets or angles, and by angles I mean ascendant or midheaven or descendant, etc. If you have 12 degrees, 11, 12 or even 13 degrees of Aries there, or 11, 12, 13 degrees of any of the fire signs or the cardinal signs, you're going to be particularly affected by the energies of this new moon. So this new moon is going to be conjunct Mercury and Chiron. It is going to be between the two with the sun. As always, a new moon is when the new moon itself is conjunct the sun completely. So there is a new beginning. It's where we plant seeds. It's where we set intentions. It's where we decide on our next chapter or what we're going to be doing in the 2 weeks that follow, or in the longer sense, 6 months that follow from this new moon. So because it's conjunct Mercury, we see that this is a new beginning in terms of communication, in terms of conversations. Likely very important dialogues are happening around this time. Conversations and communication are going to be a big theme in the 2 weeks that follow, but also in the week leading up to this new moon, there is going to be a lot of news. Now, the tone of this kind of communication is going to be to do with healing, because as I say, this new moon is also conjunct Chiron. So if you're unfamiliar, Chiron is the wounded healer, was able to heal others, but not the self. So where you have Chiron in your birth chart will typically show you where you struggle with some kind of wound. It would be a wound that you not necessarily conquer in this lifetime, but there is some sort of special power in it. It can oftentimes be where you're actually very talented or you actually have a very big purpose, but you struggle with seeing that in yourself. So do have a little look into Chiron if you're unfamiliar. Check it out in your chart and see what house it is in, what sign is it in, and you will actually find out a lot about yourself just through your Chiron placement, especially if it's sitting on an angle. You'll likely have a very big purpose in this lifetime with Chiron. So the Chiron aspect to Mercury and this new moon means that there's actually going to be a lot of conversations and communications around this time that are healing. You may be talking about your traumas, your baggage, you might be talking about your experiences. You might actually be finding that you're having communications and conversations with people that can help you heal. So with Chiron, you could be talking to an astrologer, you could be talking to a Reiki healer, you could be talking to a tarot reader, you could be talking to a doctor. These are all going to be key themes of healing around this new moon. So you may find that it just naturally happens out of the blue that you're having a conversation with someone in your life and all of a sudden you're talking about things that you maybe haven't shared before, or they're talking about things that maybe they haven't shared before. And because this is in Aries, it's likely to do with the self, and it's likely to do with the way that you see yourself. For example, you may be finding that you realize with this new moon that you are carrying this wound from childhood of something that another child said to you in the playground. You might be carrying a wound that goes very far back and has impacted the way that you see yourself. It might be the way that you see how you look. It might be the way you see how you speak. It might have affected the way that you just see your personality. But if you have wounds in this area, which I think most people probably will, this is a time to heal it. So you might be healing it through looking into your birth chart, getting a tarot reading, getting Reiki done, any of these things. As I say, especially if you have 12 degrees in Aries or the cardinal signs or the fire signs, give or take a couple of degrees before or after. So new moons represent fresh starts, and of course, because this is Aries, it amplifies that energy. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is the baby of the zodiac, and it's also the first new moon in the astrological new year. So there's a really strong sense of new beginnings, fresh starts. Spring is here. And with that being said, these new beginnings are going to be based in curiosity, because Aries is a very curious sign. It is, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but babies or even young pets, they're inevitably so curious about the world around them, and that curiosity can drop off as we get older, the more that we learn, or just we lose that ability to be so free of spirit that we sometimes get scared of asking questions. So with this energy, this is about embracing that childlike nature, asking questions, being curious, trying something new, trying something you've always wanted to do is really favoured with this new moon being conjunct Mercury, because Mercury loves to be busy, loves activities, it loves doing things. And it's very likely that if there's something you want to do, especially if it's something that you might find very healing, it's probably going to pop up in conversation with someone on your social media feed. It's probably going to fall in your lap in some degree where you just understand this was meant to find me because I want to do this. Similarly, wonderful time to ask for a sign if you are looking to ask the universe for a sign, whether it's just for reassurance in something, or it's reassurance that you're on the right path, or something that you want to do or achieve. When the new moon is conjunct Mercury, there is such an energy of communication and flow that the answers you seek are seeking you, or what you seek is seeking you. So this new beginning is also with Chiron. It may be that some of you are deciding you want to study Chiron related disciplines. So that could be medicine, that could be holistic healing, that could be any kind of healing route. You might be wanting to study astrology, you might be wanting to study tarot, you might be wanting to gain knowledge, and it doesn't even have to be these areas. It could be where Chiron is falling in your chart. You may realize that you have a wound there. Wherever Aries is in your chart, Chiron going through there is showing you what you need to heal, and this new moon is going to give you the tools to heal it, but it is likely linked to being open about it, conversation, communication. I think because Mercury and Chiron are going to be conjunct around this new moon, a lot of people are probably going to be aware of their throat chakra. So when your throat chakra is blocked, you can feel that you have to swallow a lot. You can feel a postnasal drip. You can just feel like your throat is sore. You can feel like even talking is kind of a tough thing to do. I do struggle with a blocked throat chakra from time to time. I think it's a little blocked at the moment, so or maybe it's just because I'm talking about it, but I think that that is something that a lot of people might experience around this time. And a blocked throat chakra usually comes from when you're afraid to speak your truth or be yourself. So it might be around this time that people's throat chakras are opening up. So because of the energy with Mercury being in Aries as it is, and it being conjunct the Sun and the new moon and Chiron, people might be saying exactly what they have been afraid to say, or they might be saying things to clear their throat chakra. So just bear that in mind. There could be a little bit of carelessness around this new moon because it is Aries, and sometimes Aries is an energy that thinks first, speaks first, thinks later. So just watch yourself with Mercury going through Aries in general. People could be quite blunt. There could be a lot of foot in the mouth instances, but Aries is also a very quick to forgive energy. So this new moon might be some new beginning in where you heal by appreciating the wisdom of your own mistakes or the mistakes of others and how it's shaping you into who you're becoming, because with Chiron you understand the wisdom in new beginnings. So the thing about this new moon as well that I think is very important is that it is representative of the Fool energy. So I have the Fool card here, and the Fool is such an interesting one because this is also happening on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, and it is number 1, and it is Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, and it is a new moon. So this is incredibly fresh, this is incredibly new, but as I say, being aware of the baggage that you're carrying with you. Now the Fool card, he is carrying a bag here. You can see it, it's very small, he travels light, but it doesn't mean that he is not experienced life. It doesn't mean he's not experienced heartache. It doesn't mean he's not experienced disappointment. It doesn't mean that he doesn't carry baggage within. It's just that he appreciates that sometimes to go to where we need to go, to get to where we want to be, we have to let some things go. And with the Fool card, it's usually mental. It's usually the mental baggage that we're carrying. And the way to, you know, offload that baggage with Mercury is to speak about it, talk about it, get it off your chest, open up that dialogue so that you can begin afresh. Because sometimes when we're carrying a lot of baggage and a lot of hurt, it can feel so much worse when it's just festering in the mind. But when you actually have a conversation about it, you can feel so much lighter. Or, as I say, you could be consulting a tarot reader, an astrologer, a Reiki healer, a doctor, any of these things. They're going to help you get to where you need to go. It's going to help you heal from whatever you're carrying, whatever you're experiencing, so that you can feel a little bit more light on your feet. So that is the energy of this new moon in Aries. It is a fantastic time for joining a gym as well, because there's Aries committing to a fitness goal, committing to any goal in general. It's a wonderful time to go for a hike, getting clarity by climbing the mountains like the ram would do. It's also a wonderful time to sign up for a competition, and it is a wonderful time for anything that involves passion and drive with that Aries energy. So this is what that kind of new moon energy is. You're going to find healing in your new beginning. You're going to find that you want to talk about your experiences. You want to talk about what's happened before. It could be a lot of healing conversations. I believe also, I was reading this on Astrology King, his website. I'm not sure if he's on YouTube or not, but this new moon is actually conjunct the midheaven of the Ukraine. So because Mercury is involved there might be some news or communication or important conversations, important talks going on. The midheaven would be to do with leaders as well, so to do with leaders. And hopefully with Chiron going through there could be a bit of healing, although Chiron's going to be transiting Aries, and their midheaven is Aries for quite a while. So it might be that there is some healing conversations coming up around this time, or at least an awareness of what is going on. So that is what I have for the new moon in Aries. If you want to know what it means for your zodiac sign, you can find each sign listed in the timestamps below. You can go straight to your zodiac sign, your sun, moon, or rising. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Aries, sun, moon, and rising. So Aries, this new moon is happening, of course, in your sign or your first house or your moon sign. If it is going to be, if your sun, your moon, or your rising are around 11, 12, or 13 degrees of Aries, this is going to impact you significantly. If it's your moon, that's in your emotional life. If it is the sun, that could be in your career, your public image. And if it is your ascendant, it is a very strong new beginning in terms of your identity. If it's falling in your first house, it's definitely a key theme in your identity. So, Aries, this is a new time for you to heal the self. So you could be talking about a personal experience around this time. You could be finding that in some way your identity is changing at this time. Perhaps that something in your life has shifted and you're taking on a new role in your life, a new identity. You're feeling like you are opening up a little bit more as well about what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're experiencing or have experienced. This is a wonderful time to have a healing conversation with somebody. When Mercury is going through your sign, you oftentimes have the gift of the gab, you have more eloquence, you have a way of expressing yourself that makes more sense. And because of its aspect to Mercury and the new moon, this is a time where you could really find that you are opening up in your relationships. And you could be talking as well to family members and putting water under the bridge. You could be healing dynamics, healing relationships, and it's all coming from you being more open and more expressive. A lot of you, as I say in the beginning, might be feeling your throat chakra is opening up and you're finding it easy to express what it is that you need as well, because the moon is to do with our needs. This could also be a time when you're stepping into a new role, as I say, and this is part of your identity, and you might need to address some experience that has maybe inhibited your confidence a little bit in stepping into a new role and stepping into a new identity. So this is something to factor in, so something to consider with this new moon, that you might be having to feel it to heal it in order to move into this new role in your life, something that is going to be very authentic to you. Now this could also be that you are maybe realizing you have some issues with the way that you see how you look, how you behave. You might be finding that you're actually suffering from some insecurities, and you might be around this new moon finding the source of those insecurities thanks to a healer of some kind. So that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to the new moon in Aries for your sign. So Taurus, Whew. This new moon is happening in your 12th house. Your 12th house season can be a very quiet time. And by quiet, it usually means you're going into some degree of solitude, you're needing to spend more time alone to heal, to recuperate. With this new moon being conjunct Mercury and Chiron, and all of this happening in your 12th house, it may be around this time that you're experiencing some very telling dreams, okay? It may also be that your subconscious, your blockages, maybe you have blocked chakras, maybe you have suppressed memories, maybe you have trauma, can manifest physically. So they could be manifesting in your body in some kind of way that is pushing you to seek healing. This is a wonderful time to consult any kind of healer. The 12th house is the best house for healing. It is actually where we do the most healing, and people can really not enjoy this energy because not everyone wants to look inward, not everyone wants to examine. So when something subconscious comes up in a physical symptom or it comes up in a dream, this is your body's way of saying, hey, this is what real self-care is. Acknowledge this, feel it to heal it. You're very likely around this time to come into contact with somebody quite directly who can help. So be it a doctor, be it a healer of any kind, an astrologer, a tarot reader, anything that helps you bring the subconscious up. It's like when we have a lake that can look really calm on the surface, but there's actually very strong currents underneath, and then even underneath that there's a lot of debris. There might be a shipwreck or two, there might be wood, there might be a lot of stuff sitting at the bottom, and when there's a storm coming, it can really help lift some of that stuff. When you see after a storm things lifting up onto the shore, that's what the 12th house can feel like. It can show you what is lying beneath and what needs to be cleared out. So I do recommend for you, if you could see around this time, Taurus, a Reiki healer or any kind of healer, you can get a lot of answers and a lot of clarity, which will help you release a lot of baggage, especially if you've been feeling off. This is also a wonderful time for any kind of talk therapy. I feel like you're going to get answers you need if it is to do with healing, or if it's to do with something you're working on behind the scenes, something that you've been working on privately. It could be a health matter that you've been dealing with privately. It could be any project you've been dealing with privately. The 12th house is also hidden expenses and foreign travel. So it could be around this time you're planning to pay off something. It could be around this time that you become aware of something you have to pay off that you didn't expect. Or it could be that you are planning a very long distance trip, and this is going to be something that's a bit of a retreat and gives you a bit of solitude. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Gemini, Gemini rising. This is the new moon in Aries for your sign. So Gemini, this is all happening in your 11th house, which is to do with friendships, it's to do with networking, it is to do with our social sphere, and it's also to do with our wishes and our hopes and aspirations. So listen, if with Chiron going through here, it may have been in the last couple of years that you have realized that perhaps something needed to be healed within the groups that you associate yourself. Maybe some friendships fell away with Chiron being there. You maybe realized they were hurting you. Perhaps you have been a lot of, maybe you've been the source of support for your friends. That could have been a key theme with Chiron going through there. But this new moon is showing you where you need to heal your relationships with others, particularly friendships, but also healing your relationship with your wishes. So what it is that you want for yourself, what it is that you hope for yourself. If you have any past hurts with friends or with a dream of yours that maybe you just feel is unattainable, this is a wonderful time to lean into that and talk about it. This is actually a really good time for a heart-to-heart with your friends, talking things through. It could be very likely, Gemini, that people are coming to you to express their concerns or their hurts, but it's also just as likely that you can find people that you want to open up to. It might be that you're working on something charitable around this time as well. It might be that a group or a team project is very healing for you, or you're working on something that is healing for other people. Or it could be that you're finally deciding around this time, it's now or never. I don't want to let this belief hold me back in going after what it is that I want, what it is that I want to achieve, what it is that I need to do to feel accomplished, what it is that I believe in. So this new moon really focuses on friendships. If you do find in the couple of weeks that follow with this new moon that you're making friends, they're very likely people that are healers themselves. They're very likely people that are open to talking about anything. But they're also very good at giving you information that you need to progress and heal in the next part of your journey, especially if you're moving towards some kind of ambition of yours, something that you really want to achieve, something you really want to accomplish. If you have been let down by others, particularly friends or associates or teams, you can find that this new moon marks a fresh start, in that just because you've been hurt by certain friends in the past doesn't mean you can't make them again. It can also be that you realize your relationship with social media is really fractured and something needs to change there. It's funny that with anything Chiron related, a lot of the time we see where we've been hurt and how it has given us wisdom or made us a better person. For example, if it's going through your friendship sector, perhaps it has been that you've been very hurt by friends and it has actually made you a better friend. So that's going to be part of the wisdom that you're taking forward with this new moon. But there could be a new start for you in terms of new friendships, new team activities, new projects, or maybe even a new goal of yours coming up that's going to be very healing for you, Gemini. This is what I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful new moon and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Cancer, welcome to the new moon in Aries for your sign. So Cancer, this is happening in your 10th house. This is to do with your career. It is to do with your public image. It is to do with your social standing. So this new moon is possibly exposing for you if you have any wounds surrounding what I just mentioned in terms of the themes. So perhaps you have a wound surrounding how you're perceived by others, how you're perceived by the world, especially in the work that you do. Perhaps there is something about your career you find unfulfilling or challenging, or you feel like you're not able to step into a leadership role because of X, Y, and Z. And this new moon is possibly offering you an opportunity or a new beginning that is going to be very healing for you and is going to require you to accept your wounds and put yourself forward anyway. I think there was a video I saw once about this guy that had a really bad fear of rejection. So he just every day set himself out for 100 days to be rejected. He would go and ask for the most ridiculous things, and he would just constantly put himself in these positions. And it got to the point, the further he got less rejected because he was overcoming this fear. He was changing his energy. It was no longer scary to him. It might be that in your career or your public image or putting yourself forward on a goal, that you have to address the fact that perhaps you don't feel as worthy as you thought you did, because Chiron can really be the wound that we're so busy helping others with, we don't realize that we're not actually helping ourselves. So this would be typical if you were a career advisor, but you'd become a career advisor because you loved giving other people advice, but you were too scared to go for the career you actually wanted. You know what I mean? That's nothing against career advisors. It's just with Chiron in the 10th house, I feel like it's someone that can give really good work advice, but doesn't always put themselves forward. Chiron going through the 10th house can sometimes mean as well that you take on a profession that is linked to medicine or healing or astrology or tarot or anything that offers your wisdom to help other people. And it might be around this time you're thinking of learning something or incorporating this into your career by taking some kind of course, or there could be something at work, perhaps a mindfulness meditation, something that really wakes you up to something new that you want to do in terms of your career or your profession. It could also be you're starting a new career around this time, or a new job, or there is a new beginning in your career or your profession around this time, and it is going to be something that's very healing for you, but it might require you to talk about your past experiences and really put them to bed to understand the wisdom of what's gone wrong in your career so that you can progress forward a little bit more lightly. So that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Leo, welcome to the new moon in Aries for your sign. So Leo, sun, moon and rising. This new moon is happening in your 9th house, and I find sometimes The ninth house is the hardest to talk about because it doesn't always represent travel, but it can represent expansion of the mind. It can represent our beliefs, our faith, what it is that we subscribe to. So for a lot of you with Chiron going through here, it can also mean our education. I just need to mention that too, your education, especially if it's your higher education. Around this time with Chiron being in the mix, it may be very well true, Leo, that since Chiron has gone into your ninth house, you've been questioning or doubting your faith, or perhaps there has been instances where you've had to heal your relationship with faith. You may very well have changed your belief system. You might have let go of a religious belief. You might have let go of believing in something quite spiritual. Or you may have been having trouble believing in something, or you may also coincidentally have been becoming somebody who helps others heal their issues with belief systems or spirituality or anything like that. It can also be that you've maybe been realizing that you have some feelings of not being good enough in terms of your education, or a course that you want to take, or a course that you're taking, or it could be to do with travel. You could have a fear of going on an airplane. You could have a fear of traveling to a particular country. So this new moon is offering you a new beginning in this area, and it wants you to talk about the problems that you have been facing in this area in terms of travel, education. It wants you to talk about anything that is maybe bogging you down, maybe has held you back, any beliefs that are no longer serving you, and talk about them with somebody who can help. It might be very likely that you're talking with a teacher around this time, someone that actually teaches. Wonderful time to take a new course of some kind, because this for you will be a very healing course. It's going to be some kind of advice maybe from a teacher, or something that is going to help you heal, help send you on your way for the next chapter. If you're taking a trip around this time, it could be very healing. You could find yourself talking to some very interesting people who in some capacity, whether intentionally or inadvertently, help you heal in your perspectives, help you heal in your beliefs, help you heal from any wounds you carry regarding religion, education, travel, and how you see the world. It might be that how you see the world is changing, and you might find that that is coming from a conversation. We all have these moments in life, albeit I think they're quite rare, where we're having a conversation with somebody and they say something or give us a piece of advice that will resonate for the rest of our life. And this could very well be a time where you actually come into that kind of conversation or get that kind of advice, Leo. So that'll be interesting for you. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Virgo and Virgo rising and Virgo moon if you're here. Welcome to the new moon in Aries for your sign. So Virgo, this is happening in your 8th house. Okay. Chiron going through the 8th house is a biggie. This is a new beginning for you in your 8th house, and that can be to do with other people's money. That can be to do with money from the government, taxes. It can be to do with loans. It can also be in your marriage, in your relationship. It can be your relationship with intimacy, your relationship with your sexuality. It can be any of these things. It can also be your relationship with the occult. So with Chiron being there, it might be that you're having conversations with someone who works in the occult, someone who is into, you know, maybe someone who is Wiccan, maybe someone who is a witch, maybe somebody who is an astrologer, maybe somebody who is psychic. Chiron going through the 8th house, it could have been in the last couple of years that you've had a bad experience with a psychic. I just need to say it. You could have had a bad experience with a psychic. You could have had a bad experience with an astrologer or someone who works in the occult. And a lot of the time it can be because they're there to trigger something within us that we need to heal. So that could be that maybe you had a reading that was a little too raw, or it might be that you're just finding that you have fears of the occult, or that you're actually yourself leaning into it and teaching people and helping other people heal through the occult. This new beginning for you may begin a time where you talk about I'm not going to say anything that's triggering. It might be that you talk about something that was triggering to you. It might be that you open up about something that was very traumatic for you. It might be that you open up about something that is stopping you from entering healthy relationships, or something that is stopping you having a healthy relationship with your partner, or also something that is impacting you negatively in terms of the exchange of money in your life, the flow of money in your life, Virgo. So I think for a lot of you, this is going to be about opening up about something that maybe hit quite hard and was quite raw, and you could be having a new beginning here that feels a lot more like you're gaining wisdom in your experience, or you're helping others through your experience, or you're able to progress feeling just that little bit lighter, or that little bit more confident in expressing this. After all, Mercury being in the mix here, Mercury is your ruler. So when it's conjunct Chiron, this is a time for you to speak. This is a time for you to open up about something that has been traumatic. You may also benefit from someone who has healing hands, I have to say, with this new moon. Be that a Reiki healer, it could be that someone who can help move the energy for you would be more beneficial than maybe talking about it, if that's something that isn't comfortable for you. It could be that in your relationship you're finding you're having some very important deep conversations that are opening up the channels of intimacy and increasing the intimacy in your relationship. You could also be coming into some money from an outside source, like the government or a tax rebate or something like that, Virgo. But that is what I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Libra, sun, moon and rising. Libra, this new moon is happening in your 7th house. This is really interesting for you because it is the descendant. It is the opposite sign to you, meaning that it's likely forming oppositions to at least one of your placements. If you have Libra placements, if you're a Libra sun, or rising or moon, especially if it's around 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 degrees of Libra, you're feeling the opposing energy from this new moon, or you may not be, but nevertheless it's happening in your 7th house, which is to do with the other. Okay, so for a lot of you, if you are, whether you're single or in a relationship, or whatever your status is, or whatever your wants are regarding relationships, it doesn't have to be romantic. But this is a time where there is a new beginning in your relationship life. So what that looks like for you is that there just is a new start, and it's fresh, and it's about being open. It's about talking about the hurts, the past experiences, understanding your part to play, but also understanding how hurt you've been by others, and really just being able to discuss them openly, or to talk about them, especially if they are affecting you in a big way. You know, if you're holding a lot of feelings within and they're stopping your quality of life being what it needs to be, or they're stopping you from entering fulfilling relationships, or, you know, connecting with your partner. This is a time for you, Libra, where you're going to have a fresh start. And I think for a lot of you, this looks like, if you're in a relationship, having a very important healing conversation with your partner, and maybe opening up the dialogue going forward. There might be some hard things to discuss, or it might be that you're opening up to your best friend about your experiences. And it could also be that with Chiron being here, you're having a conversation with somebody who can help you heal your relationship issues. That could be a therapist. That could be that you're coming into an awareness of your attachment style or your love language, and some information either through conversation or reading or learning that is going to help you have more fulfilling relationships. It's a wonderful time for you to take a course in relationship communication, or manifesting love, or anything that you want to do to positively heal and impact this new beginning in your life, because this is a pretty good one. It is pretty significant. If you find that you're starting to date somebody around this time, they themselves could be a very healing presence in your life. They could be someone who gives you really good advice. They could be someone who really helps you heal the way that you look at yourself and your relationships, Libra. But that is what I have for you. This is an interesting one, so do let me know how it goes. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Scorpio, sun, moon and rising. Scorpio, this is happening in your 6th house. This new moon is in your 6th house. So the 6th house is to do with our everyday life. It's to do with our habits. It's to do with our health. And it is, of course, a house of healing. So to have Chiron go through this house means that over the last couple of years and the next couple of years to come, next few years to come, Scorpio is going to be working on healing their relationship with their health, possibly with their physical body, with their body confidence, the way that they see themselves in terms of their fitness, in terms of their well-being, and in terms of their health. So Chiron going through there may have been exposing where you have a wound, maybe you have body dysmorphia, or maybe you have a poor relationship with your body image, or maybe you have an unhealthy relationship with diet or fitness or something like that. But it can also be just as equally, Scorpio, that you're helping others heal through these practices, or you're healing through these practices. So you might have found in the last couple of years you really healed your relationship with your body, you're helping other people do it, you maybe changed your diet and find that it heals your mental health, because there is a link there. So other ways that this is happening, Scorpio, is that Chiron being here could be healing your relationship with the work that you do every day. And one of the things that becomes apparent in Reiki is to work hard. But when they say work hard, they don't mean work hard at your job, not saying you shouldn't, but they mean work hard on yourself. You are your life's work. So this new moon is a new beginning in this area. You might be finding that you are getting tremendous benefits mentally from a change in your diet. Maybe you're giving up one thing, like dairy or something like that. You're getting a tremendous benefit from this. Maybe you've joined a gym, or you're joining a gym, and if you are beginning a new fitness practice or something like that, you could be finding around this time that you're meeting people, making connections that really help boost your confidence and your self-esteem. Like, it could be that a lot of people around this time are commenting on your appearance, saying you look really fit, or you look really healthy, your skin is glowing, something like that, that's making you really heal. You might be talking about something that has hurt your self-esteem. That could be to do with your appearance or your work, something that's hurt you in your work, or something that's hurt you in the way that you perceive yourself or the work that you do, or your habits. So this new beginning for you, Scorpio, could actually indicate a new job. This new job might positively affect your confidence. If you're taking a new job at this time, it's important to open up with others about maybe where you feel lacking in your work, or you're taking on a new project at this time. It's important to express your vulnerabilities in order to heal them. And I know that sometimes is icky for Scorpio placements. It can be very hard to open up and appear vulnerable because you worry that people will judge you, or you don't want to be perceived as weak. I get that, but it's actually what connects people, and it will make you stronger. If it's inside, it'll make you weaker. It's like a ship. The water outside can't affect the ship, but if it gets in, that's when it starts to sink. So make sure that you're not keeping everything in, Scorpio. I know that it's kind of typical of your sign, but a problem shared is a problem halved. As cliche as it sounds. You could be beginning a new fitness program, a new diet, something to do with well-being around this time. It's going to be very healing for you if you've begun something new in the well-being after. Maybe you're learning yoga, maybe you're learning Reiki, maybe you're learning nutrition. But any of these areas are going to be very healing for you, Scorpio, and you're likely to get some information or some insight that helps you heal and makes this new beginning one that really is cathartic for you. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to the new moon in Aries for your sign, Sagittarius. This is happening in your 5th house, so that is to do with fun, love, pleasure, joy. It's also to do with the arts, your passions, and it's also to do with your children. So for a lot of you Sagittarians, this may be a time where you are talking about this is so strange, but it's kind of like you're realizing if you have wounds surrounding love, romance, fun and pleasure, or even wounds surrounding your creativity. Now, those might sound like things that maybe could sound a bit abstract at first, but let me delve a little bit deeper into this. You might be finding around this time that you're starting to date somebody. Or you might be finding around this time that you're called to engage in a creative project, or put your art out there. Or you're thinking of maybe having a baby, or you are having a baby. Any of these themes, if there's a new beginning happening in this area, Sagittarius, you might be feeling a little bit afraid or kind of aware of where there's a wound. Maybe you feel if you're dating somebody new, you might start to second guess yourself, you might start to feel a little bit insecure, or maybe if you are putting your art out there, you might be finding it so scary that you don't want to do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway, whether that's dating somebody, whether that's surprising your partner with something romantic, whether it's starting a creative project, or whether it is, you know, wanting to be a better parent, or wanting to create something. Feel the fear and do it anyway. This conjunction to Mercury is a wonderful time to speak on it. If you are doing something artistic that involves writing or speaking, this can be a beautiful time to do it. If you're creating something, there is a chance that it can help heal others. So maybe you're writing a song, or you're sharing a poem, or you're painting a picture. This can help heal you, but it can also help heal others around you. It could be that maybe you know, say you come up with a poem, and it could be that if you release that poem, somebody somewhere, even if it's just one person, might just feel like, I needed that, like I really needed that. Say you're dating somebody, it might be that you open up very quickly about past experiences gone wrong and they share their story. Or it might be that you talk with someone in your life about how you're feeling insecure, and they can really help you relieve some of that baggage that you're carrying. And if you're carrying romantic baggage or creative blocks, this can be a wonderful time to work through them by engaging more in playfulness and allowing yourself to have fun. This is a new moon where if you feel like you hold yourself back in having fun, which isn't a Sagittarian trait, but if you've been holding yourself back from having a good time, it could be that you realize around this new moon that you've been doing that and you don't want to do it anymore. It could be that, for example, you have been out at parties and you've been really excited and you've been talking about what you've been up to and getting very excitable, and maybe someone's like, why are you so loud? You know what I mean? There can be a wound there, it can be that kind of wound. Or you could be a painter and someone could say, or a writer, and someone could say, I don't know why you keep putting your stuff out there, like getting all these no's must be so hard. You know, something that can just wound your inner child, something that can wound your creativity, something that can wound your heart. So if you have any healing that needs to be done in terms of the heart, this is a wonderful time to focus on your heart chakra. Be out in nature, connect to the color green, wear the color green, carry a rose quartz around, there's one over there. Anything that can help open up your heart chakra. You might actually be feeling around this time chest pains, and if you are, obviously get medical attention for that. I'm not diagnosing you, I just know that sometimes the heart chakra can be associated with pains in the chest, like a dull one. But if you are having issues with that, obviously seek medical attention. Conjunct Chiron, great time to do it. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Have fun and don't worry about what other people think when you do. That is what I have for you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Aries. So Capricorn, this new moon is happening in your 4th house. Now this is to do with home and it's to do with family. So there's likely to be a new beginning happening here with home and family. It could be that you're moving into a new house, a new flat, a new apartment. It could be that you're moving in general. It could be that you're moving into an old one. But this can also be a new addition to your family, or it can be creating a new family for yourself. But it can be to do with the house, like the physical house, or it can be to do with the home where you come from, or it can be to do with the family. So the way that I'm seeing this for you, Capricorn, is honestly that this new beginning in terms of home or in terms of family might trigger something. It might trigger something from the past. It could be that you realize you're needing a good cry about something that is to do with home or family, or it could be that there is something that triggers a memory or an experience that really hurt you before, and maybe you've not fully been able to express yourself. Maybe you had the type of parents that said crying was a sign of weakness, that you weren't allowed to express your emotions. Maybe you live in a house with roommates that you're not entirely comfortable speaking with, or something like that. This is actually a time, Capricorn, where you're going to do very well talking about your hurts regarding home and family. So this could be that you're having a very healing conversation with a parent. This could be that you're having a very healing conversation with a child. And this could be that you're realizing that if you are beginning a new adventure within your home or family life, or there's a new beginning, it might be a good time to talk about why you maybe feel a little bit scared, or maybe why you feel a little bit upset. There could be a bittersweet feeling to it with Chiron being there, and it's good to talk about it. It's good to express it. It can also be that you are realizing you want to help other people heal from something to do with family or something to do with home. This could be helping the homeless. This could be helping people who have lost someone in their family, dealing with grief. This could be helping somebody who is having a challenging time with their child, for example. This could be offering to babysit for someone in your life that is going through a hard time with a child. Or it could be offering to look after a child, take a child out for the day in your family that needs some good advice from an elder or something like that. But this is a time where I think you're really going to be focusing on what family and home means to you going forward. And maybe you don't want to repeat certain patterns that you experienced growing up, or maybe you don't want to, you know, parent in the way that you were parented, or there might just be memories from the past coming up in your dreams, Capricorn, that you're thinking, I really need to deal with this. I need to talk to somebody. So I will talk to somebody. But nevertheless, this new beginning for you, whatever it is healing. So if you are moving or you're redecorating, this is going to be in a way that gives your soul peace. It helps you move through the past. It helps you let go of a few things, carry a lesser load, so to speak. So maybe you're changing your environment to look more peaceful. Maybe you're going for more neutral colors and more plants in the home. Maybe you are changing the lighting. Maybe you are trying to improve your air quality, something that is healing in itself. So that is what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to the new moon in Aries for your zodiac sign. This is happening in your communication sector. So this is to do with communicating, conversations, dialogue. It's also to do with your relationship possibly to the internet. It's also to do with your neighbors and your siblings. So there is a new beginning in these areas. There's some sort of new beginning happening in one of those topics. Maybe even more than one of those topics, but it could be that you perhaps are having a new beginning with a sibling. If there has been tension, if there has been conflict, this could be a time when you're actually healing the conflict with a sibling. Could also be that a lot of you are realizing that you're having trouble communicating and you really need to get a few things off your chest with Mercury and Chiron. Now, you're not alone in this, even though this is happening in your third house, which is more hyper-focused on that energy. You're not alone in wanting to talk about issues. You're not alone in wanting to talk about the past or, you know, have healing conversations. For you, this could be that maybe you've actually had a traumatic experience before with a neighbor or a sibling, or you've had a bad experience with a friend, even with that third house, or you've just found that whenever you try to talk about something, you have been shut down. And this might be a time when you are maybe more prone to speaking through anger with the Aries energy. Your voice could be raising, you could be screaming at somebody before you know it. This is a time for really leaning into healing your communication style in general. So it's not about silencing yourself at all. It's just about figuring out, do you suppress what you want to say until you absolutely explode, or do you suppress what you want to say so much that your throat's always hurting, or you're having vocal issues? Or it could be that you're maybe just trying to fit in where you just cannot fit in. There's this thing about Aquarian energy where, you know, if you look sane on the outside, you feel insane on the inside. If you feel sane on the inside, you're looking insane on the outside. I have to say, I think it's better to look insane on the outside and feel sane on the inside, personally. But then my moon's in Aquarius and in sidereal, I'm a rising in Aquarius. For you guys, I think it's about just being comfortable saying what you want to say. And that's not to say anything harassing, that's not to say anything that is hateful, nothing like that. But just expressing your quirks, expressing your opinions in a way that maybe, you know, you can speak your truth in a way that isn't hurtful. So it might just be working on the way that you do communicate, and you maybe have a really interesting conversation around this time with somebody, could be a sibling, could be a neighbor, that makes you really think about the way that you are communicating. You could be healing your relationship with someone in your immediate circle as well if there has been issues, if there has been tensions, or you've been butting heads on personal opinions, Aquarius. So this is a time for you where I think you're really going to be leaning into how you communicate and maybe thinking, well, I want to be honest, but I can do it in a way that doesn't hurt anybody else's feelings, or I want to share my thoughts and I need to think of a way of feeling secure and self-soothing when somebody doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. It's okay to be misunderstood, basically. So I think with this new moon, you could very well also be learning something new, taking a short course. And if you are, it's going to be very healing for you. It could be that you're getting new neighbors around this time that could help you heal from past experiences. Maybe they're really kind people. Or it could be that you are making amends with somebody in your circle. But that's what I have for you, Aquarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. So this new moon, Pisces, is happening in your second house, and that is to do with money, but it is also to do with self-esteem and value. So how does that look for you? Well, Chiron has been going through Aries for a while now, and it's really been asking you to heal your relationship with money. The things that you buy, why you buy them, and not to go super psychoanalytical on you, but are you buying things because they make you feel good, or are you buying things because you think other people will feel better about you? You know, why are you purchasing the things that you're purchasing? Are they for you? Are they true to who you are, or are they for someone else? What are you spending your money on? What's your relationship with money? Because Aries is your second house, Pisces, sometimes you can burn through money. Sometimes you can spend as quick as you earn. And Chiron going through this sign is actually good for you, because if you're spending through money super quick, it's giving you the insight as to maybe where that's coming from. So I'll give you an example, because I'm a Pisces rising and I can. For me, I've noticed with Chiron going through here, and then as we get into Aries season and the Sun conjuncts Chiron, I can become very aware of hurts from childhood that influence the way I spend now. So I have a very clear memory of a kid in school saying something very hurtful to me about my appearance, and I think it led to wanting to invest more money in things that make you look better. Skincare, for example, and that's not that you shouldn't buy things that you love, but just make sure that you're not doing it for somebody else or as a protective mechanism. Make sure you're doing it because it feels joyful to you, and it feels like something that has value to you for your sake, something that makes you feel good. So another way that this can look, Pisces, is that you have a new beginning in terms of confidence. With Mercury there ruling your relationships, you might be getting a coach of some kind, or taking on a course or learning something that is going to impact your confidence positively. You might have developed a new skill that you can use that is developing your sense of self and self-confidence, and it's showing you something that really matters to you as well. So around this new moon, there's a new beginning for you in terms of money, and there is a new beginning for you in terms of confidence. With the Mercury being there, you might actually be signing a contract that gives you more money. You might be getting news of some money coming to you. Your salary, your income could be increasing around this time in a way that actually feels very healing for you as well. Or it could be as a result of the healing you've done, or it could be that you're making money as a healer, which wouldn't be unusual for a Pisces placement, I have to say. Or it could be that you're consulting someone who's an astrologer or a tarot reader about how to make more money, or how to be more confident, or how to understand what it is that you value. Because as a Pisces, sometimes you can get lost in your stuff and everyone else's. That's what I have for you, Pisces. I hope you have a beautiful new moon, and I'll talk to you soon.